Welcome back to Powers Powwow. Peace to you. Today I will be speaking with Eddie Cohen, Ken Andreoni, and Greg Tyler, the EKG Jazz Trio. Thank you guys for coming out today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks.
Right
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I play guitar.
Yeah.
That's about it, really.
Yeah, where are you from?
Yeah, I live in Rochester. I teach out at Motor City Guitar. I've been playing, probably 30 years. Guitar, studied classical guitar in college, and that's about it, really.
Oh,
Make a living as a musician. That's what I do.
I live in Ypsilanti, grew up in Taylor, went to Taylor Center High. Started playing drums when I was 8, fell in love with it. I've played in and around Detroit my whole life. Moved to LA for a little while, moved back. Met this awesome guy, Mikkel Caldwell. Him and I had a little thing for a little while, did the Jazz Fest and all that stuff. Miss Mikkel a lot. I work for Ford and like to play drums.
Eddie.
I'm Eddie and I play bass, and it's funny Greg mentions that. Mikkel Caldwell, who's kind of a legendary local figure, is a common thing between all three of us. That's how me and Greg got together playing with him, and like I said, did the Jazz Fest and some other festivals and some recording work. And Mikkel also introduced me to Motor City Guitar, which was a place he had done business with for years and years, and I started teaching there in 2003, I think. Oh, it's been a while. And that's how I met Ken, who was teaching there at the time. And I still currently teach there. That's what I do. I teach people how to play bass. I teach them how to play guitar, how to play ukulele. And I try to teach them about music in general and hopefully foster their love for it. It's something that they will continue to do. And I perform, and this trio is what we're doing right now. We also all record together, and we also record for other folks. We're all freelance recording artists. But Greg and Ken have been kind enough to perform on a record for me, and are also on a record I'm working on right now. And
That record is?
The record is Pulp Fusion, and it's out there on iTunes and CD Baby, and it's all over YouTube. And you can buy it, you can have it, you can listen to it. It's kind of cool. And working on a new record right now called Time Traveler, and we've got a couple of songs in the can, including one with Ken and Greg both on it. And so this trio kind of just came together. Actually, me and Ken at Motor City Guitar had a number of students asking us, hey, we'd love to have you guys play at some of our private events and this and that. And we put together a little trio to do some private events, the Detroit Auto Show and things like that, and corporate parties and such, just occasionally for fun. And in talking to Greg, he, like me and Ken, had kind of tired of the cover band scene in the city and just working the basic stuff. We've all done it for a lot of years, and we enjoyed it and all that. And we all talked about if we're going to do anything else, we're going to play in a little band that we like and the music we like and something a little more interesting and challenging for us. And wherever it goes, we'll take it. And we have a few gigs here and there, and we'll hopefully get out in public. And that's what we're now trying to do is, a lot of people would like to see us play. We both have big rosters of students, and we've all been out there and kind of are known in the Detroit music scene. And so we decided this might be a nice thing for us to do, and we've kind of tried to broaden our appeal with the unbelievable vocals of Greg Tyler, in addition to his amazing drumming. Yeah. It's allowed us to play some music that, like I say, might broaden the appeal a little bit, but we also play pretty straight-ahead, hardcore jazz stuff. We all are pretty well versed in it and have worked pretty hard for a long time. And I've talked a whole bunch, and that's about it.
Oh, and on singing and playing the drums is, I don't know how drummers do that. I mean, you guys got your feet going and your hands going, and then you.
It was one of those things where there weren't a lot of bands out that were singing, and there were a lot of guys in the bands. They either had one singer, and there was no one ever doing harmonies. So then someone would say, "Hey, can you do harmonies?" My dad was a phenomenal vocalist. My mom sang. My whole family's musical. So it was sort of a natural transition. And then I just realized once you get into it, you can sort of separate it. It sort of segued me into a lot of jobs came my way because I could sing. And then not only harmony, but taking over lead, and doing lead vocal. So that transitioned me into writing and recording my own stuff for my band, Strawberry Alternative, which is my band. So I've got 4 CDs out on CD Baby and whatever. So Strawberry Alternative is my thing, and I go out and lead that. And fronting a band from the drums is rather difficult because everyone identifies with the guitar player. They see that guy, and it's amazing. You can be at a gig and have people like up in front of the dance floor, and they're like screaming and yelling, "Hey!" And then you walk from behind the drum set, and they don't even. You walk right by and say, "How are you doing?" They're like, "Hey, weirdo, get away."
You can remain anonymous.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's almost like you become a different person when you step out. But I really enjoy it.
Greg's
I really
music is amazing, by the way.
Oh,
Strawberry Alternative is an incredible record, and you just had something new that he put out that I was lucky enough to get to play on.
Yeah.
That
I
was
released
really-
a single, "Baby Go On," and he played bass on it. And,
Man.
just a collaboration from it's one of those things where it just sort of organically grows. So I had this seed idea. Thought, hey, I'll see what it sounds like when I get everything together. So I laid a rough drums. I sent it to him. Buddy, oh yeah, I know this guy that plays pedal steel, and this guy plays slide. And I started collecting the tracks, and literally, as I imported them, the tune just wrote itself.
It sure
I said,
did.
holy cow, I can't even believe it. And it happened like that, So I laid some good vocals on it, and yeah, so it was Baby Go On.
Sounds like it just got back from Nashville.
Yeah,
It's
it's amazing.
phenomenal. It
Yeah.
really is phenomenal.
What about you, Ken?
Oh, geez. Let's see. I've got kind of this thing where I write as well, and
just
I'd
had
like
that.
these two guys actually. I've got probably about 8 tunes ready to go, and I'd like to record them. Let's see. I just wrote a book actually, a music
that's
theory
right.
book, just for guitar for jazz players, and basically an improvisation, really.
Would you find that on Amazon? Or?
Yes, it'll be available on Amazon probably within the month. And
Very cool, nice book.
What's it called?
it's called Solving the Jazz Puzzle.
Excellent.
Nice.
Yeah, I had Eddie preview it for
It's
me.
really
and-
cool. It's a very nice book, and we try to teach for real up at Motor City Guitar. A lot of people think that music store lessons are just kind of, we're going to learn how to play a few riffs and a couple of songs, and we kind of try to teach you as if you were at an actual music academy, and we're real interested, even though we know most people just do it as a hobby and for fun. It's still a lot more fun when you're good at it.
Right.
And we try to help people do that. And if you're, if you like music and want to play it, well, you like music. You should want to know about it. And so Ken's book is kind of a progression of that. We've been using other people's material, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's kind of like the way I think. I've kind of cultivated for 20 years now of teaching, and I think what I try to do is I try to engage the student by having them learn a song and then showing them how the theory applies to whatever song. It could be a Metallica song, or it could be a Styx tune or something, but you kind of show them how the chord progressions work and how the scales work, and then they start getting engaged in what makes music, the nuts and bolts of music, as far as I'm concerned.
And it's amazing how people are interested and keep going, Jim.
I know, but you have to practice. Yes, and that kind of made you mad when I didn't practice. But anyway, so what is jazz fusion? What is it?
It's the F word.
It's the F word?
Yeah.
It
I know-
is the F word.
It's a little beyond jazz then, right?
Well, my own take on it is, I think that when you grow up learning music, you kind of take one or two paths in a way, and it's either classical or jazz as far as learning in depth about music. And it may or may not be your joy of your life to play that type of music, but it's what you need for educational purposes. Jazz happens to be the joy of my life. I love playing it, but I also grew up as a kid with Motown and with Led Zeppelin. I mean, I grew up with the music of the 60s and hard rock and Motown. And so for me, jazz fusion is, well, I've studied jazz and I've been so into it, but yet I've been so influenced by all these things that I was hearing as a kid, when I had an open brain. And it kind of combines just naturally with that, unless you fight back and don't allow it. So for me, jazz fusion is just playing with the jazz kind of a concept and thoughtfulness, whatever type of music you're doing and whatever influence there is. And for me, that influence is Motown and rock. For other folks, it could be reggae and Brazilian music mixed with jazz.
It was Intermounting Flame.
Well, yeah, that was right there. Yeah.
See, I think fusion's like a cultivation of everything, hence
Absolutely.
the name, fusion.
Yeah,
It could be Eastern music, it could be rock, it could be heavy metal, it could be bebop jazz, it could be classical, it could be, Bach kind of thrown into
It's funny
rock
when you
kind
think
of
of
thing.
how broad that term is when
Right.
you say fusion, because it goes everything from like Jean-Luc Pontianic, Matic Ocean, all the way to El Demio and Elegant
Yeah.
Gypsy. I mean, there's just
What about Zappa?
right?
Or
Yeah,
Steve
yeah.
Vai or
And then
something.
King
Yeah,
Crimson,
I mean,
right?
King Crimson.
Yeah.
So
I
mean,
that's a big word.
Yeah.
It's a big word.
I think the commonality is really high quality musicians playing very high quality music, but doing it in a slightly different way to
Yeah.
appeal to a different audience. Greg mentioned Intermounting Flame. This was a brilliant jazz guitar player who decided to plug into a Marshall amp and get a
Yeah.
drummer who was a brilliant jazz drummer, well known, who now had a big, huge drum set instead of a little one. And they kicked it up loud, and they had Eastern influence in their
Yeah.
music. And it was jazz guys playing through Marshall amps loud with a bit of an Eastern influence, and it was, sucked me right in too. I heard that and I went, wow.
All right, so I think we're going to get ready to
Play a
listen to you
little?
guys play.
Awesome.
So they'll be right up. Peace out.
The way you look tonight.
Someday, when I'm awfully low, when the world is cold, I will feel a glow just thinking of you and the way you look tonight. Yes, you're lovely with your smile so warm and your cheeks so soft. There is nothing for me but to love you and the way you look tonight. With these words, your tenderness grows, tearing my
Old Bill Withers tune called Lovely Day.
Wake up in the morning, love. Sunlight hurts my eyes. Something without warning, love. It's heavy on my mind. And I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Ooh, just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day, 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 a lovely day, 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 lovely day. The day that lies ahead of me seems impossible to face, with someone else instead of me always seems to know the way. And I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Ooh, just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, a lovely day, 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 lovely day. The day that lies ahead of me seems impossible to face. Someone else instead of me seems to know the way. And I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Ooh, just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day, 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 lovely day.
Here's a weather report too called Birdland.
your life it will creep. It starts when you're always